Has it really been that long since I last uploaded? Goddamn. Well, hi, welcome to my channel. Yeah, I'm Rosalina. I usually make videos on a video game known as Team Fortress 2. If you've been here before, you probably already knew that, but, since this isn't really a tier 2 video, I think it's just better to explain who I am real quick. So yeah, I'm Rosalina. I'm a massive fan of Rosalina and the Super Mario Galaxy games. I am a fan of Mario in general, not to the extent of other franchises, but like, I still enjoy his games a lot, but I mostly am into Mario mainly because of Rosalina and the Galaxy games. Those are my favorite games, and Rosalina is probably my favorite video game character of all time. So there's a brief little introduction of me, and yeah, let's just get straight into this. So, you know, the Galaxy movie, it just came out, and, you know, a lot of people are talking about it, mostly in a negative light, and I can understand why. So I'm here to tell you that they're absolutely right. Kind of, okay, like, there are some things that I like in the Galaxy movie, and there's some things that I don't, but I'm going to go over some of the biggest issues I have with the movie. Oh, and also, spoiler warning, of course, because, well, obviously, I'm talking about the movie, and I need to spoil things to really get into the problems with the movie. But I'm going to start with the biggest issue with the movie right now, and honestly, it's just, like, the easiest fix in the world. If they just didn't call this the Galaxy movie, I think a lot of people would be less angry at how the movie turned out. Not completely, but, like, at least be a bit less hostile and less mad. See, when you name a movie after a video game, a specific video game as well, a lot of people are going to go into that movie expecting to see, well, adapting that game. And, well, yeah, Galaxy Story was never deep. The whole point of adapting stuff is, well, expanding on it on places that the games likely would have never done. So this means expanding Rosalina's backstory with her storybook. It would mean doing more with the whole Peach being taken into space and all that. And this movie just doesn't even try that at all. They have galaxy imagery, but they do not have anything that really makes it impactful. Like, yeah, Peach's castle gets taken into space, but like, that's it. It gets taken into space, there's a fight, and then it just lands in Honey Hive Galaxy. That's not really what happens in the game, and it kind of just makes everything feel less impactful because of it. Because it's like, yeah, you got the imagery right, but then you don't have the impact of what made that imagery so striking. What made it so striking is that Bowser took the castle far away and kicked Mario off of it, leaving Mario basically to defend himself in space. Like, that was the whole story point of the castle being taken, was to kidnap Peach again, and also to get Mario pretty much stuck in space. And that just doesn't happen in this movie. They take the castle, but when the castle is taken, Peach is already gone, and the only reason Bowser Jr. is taking the castle is just because he wants Bowser back. Which, I feel like you didn't even have to take the castle to do that. He could have just rocked up to the castle and be like, hey, give me my father back now. But no, they just take the castle just so you can point at the screen and go like, oh look, it's like in the video game, it happened in the video game. But it's like, again, it has no impact on what actually happened in the game. Like, you know, yeah, you took the castle, but all the impact of taking the castle is just not there. Especially when it comes to the end of the movie, because they just build a new castle. So, what was the point of taking the castle if you were just gonna rebuild it instantly? Like, there was no point. No point whatsoever. It was literally just there for you to point and go like, hey, it happened in the game, so clap. Clap now, please. That's the biggest issue with this movie as a whole. It is only Galaxy by name. It has Galaxy imagery, but it has none of the impact. Like, we have Gateway Galaxy, but it looks nothing like what it does in the game, and it's mostly used as basically just an airport. I mean, like, it's like a gateway to other galaxies, I guess. And like, that's fine that it's a gateway to other galaxies, but at least make it look like the actual galaxy that you're basing it off of. And really, the whole point of Gateway Galaxy was more just to throwing other references to other games, not really anything to do with Galaxy. again, a lot of this issue with this movie really just comes down to the fact that they called it the Galaxy movie and then barely referenced Galaxy, and even when they did reference Galaxy, it was just really for like stuff that didn't even need it. It was kind of pointless to even have it there. It was literally just like all the other references in this movie, which is just, here's a reference to other thing from the games. You happy now? So yeah, this is like the issue the first movie had, where it was mostly just like, hey, it's a reference to one of the games. You like the games, right? Here it is on the big screen. And don't get me wrong, it does look visually pretty, and the soundtrack, I should say right now, is also really good. They've improved massively on the soundtrack and the visuals, and that's fine, but again, I would rather have a good story alongside those good visuals and soundtrack than just what we got. And what we got was basically just not Galaxy at all. It's fine for people who probably don't really care that much about Galaxy's story, or even didn't really like Galaxy, which more power to you if that's the case, but as someone like me and many others who are a massive fan of Galaxy, yeah, the way they handled Galaxy was not really done with care, in my opinion. They really did not need to call this the Galaxy movie. It literally could have been called Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. Land, or Super Mario Bros. World, and it would still feel the same. Like, again, there was nothing about this movie that made it feel like Galaxy. And this is more just maybe a personal thing, but I don't understand why they went with Galaxy as the second movie. To me, Galaxy feels like a grand finale, so why is it the second film? What can be bigger than Galaxy for the third film? There might be something out there, maybe they might even try one of the RPG stories, but if we're looking at the mainline Mario games, Galaxy is like the most finale-like game you could have. So the fact that they chose to do it as the second film really confuses me. And I'll get straight into it. Fox McCloud, he's not a bad character. I liked seeing him, but he definitely felt like he didn't belong in this movie. Maybe as a cameo, but being actually a part of the movie, he just doesn't feel like he fits, in my opinion. Like, he's written well, but he just doesn't vibe with the Galaxy and Mario universe. So the fact that he's here for more than like 30 seconds just kind of feels off to me. I don't know why he's really here. And obviously, since I mentioned Fox, I'm now going to move on to Rosalina. Now, Rosalina, if it wasn't obvious, like I just said earlier, is my favorite character, and she still is going to be my favorite character. In the movie, it didn't matter what they did with her, I would still always love Rosalina, especially her game version. And this is where the biggest issues come with the movie, in my personal opinion, is the fact how they treated Rosalina. So in the games, Rosalina is basically treated like a guide for Mario to get around to all the galaxies and to help Mario save his special one, that being Peach. While on the Comet Observatory, which you use to travel to all these galaxies with Rosalina, you learn about Rosalina's storybook, aka her backstory. And that was one of, if not the most influential things to a lot of people about the Galaxy games, because most Mario games don't really give backstory or lore to their characters. You know, they're just the character, these are the personality traits, you don't need to worry about where they come from and what their past was like. But Rosalina was different. They gave her a backstory, they gave her lore, essentially. And a lot of people really resonated with it and enjoyed that story. It's what made her so special to so many people. It's why I personally enjoyed her so much. Her story about loneliness and death and pretty much just being super responsible was really relatable for me at the time, especially when it came to the loneliness part. So the fact that the movie basically completely ignores that, and the new backstory they give her, which ties into Peach, is really, like, questionable. Now, them making Peach and Rosalina related is a thing that I have massively not wanted in the games. There's so many people making theories about how Peach and Rosalina could be related in the games, and I personally prefer if they weren't related. I think it just makes Rosalina stand out more on her own if she's not related to Peach. But I will say, the movie version of Rosalina is not the game version of Rosalina. So if they wanted to make Rosalina and Peach related, I was okay to willing to give it a shot, and honestly, they kind of fumbled it. The backstory they've now given Peach and Rosalina is that they were star children and they're sisters, and I have no problem with them making them sisters, but the backstory was basically just every generic usual backstory you find in most kids films, which is basically just their family, something happens that caused them to get split up, and then the years later they finally find each other again. And it's just kind of done to death compared to like Rosalina's storybook from the games, where it's actually something unique, it's something different, and it's something that a lot of kids could, you know, grasp at. Like, it was really thought-provoking for me as a kid, and I think for many other people as a kid too. So the fact that they just didn't even attempt to try really rubs me the wrong way. They could have made Rosalina's storybook work while still having her be related to Peach. In the games, it's a brother. They could have easily just said it was a sister, and that sister was Princess Peach. That's all they had to do, but the fact they just ignored it completely is really, really dumb. You basically got rid of what made a lot of people like Rosalina. And in the movie, they make Rosalina quite really powerful. They say she's like the most powerful like princess of them all, and that's fine because it makes sense then why Bowser Jr. wants to capture Rosalina. But it's the fact that it's basically telling, not showing. You can tell us she's the most powerful princess, but if she doesn't show that she's the most powerful princess, then why would I believe you that that is the case? Now, don't get me wrong, she does do things with her wand, and she does do a lot of space magic stuff, which does look to be very powerful, but she gets captured pretty easily, and she remains captured pretty much for the whole film. She's basically only at the beginning, and she's only at the end. You see her little bits in throughout the movie, but she doesn't do much besides just kind of be kept in a cage. And that just really sucks. You have this character's debut, you name the movie after the game she debuts in, and you don't really use her. And a lot of people's excuses that, well, she didn't do much in the games anyway, but like, she did more than just be a damsel in distress or captured. She was on the ship, she was on Comet Observatory, she was helping Mario travel through the galaxies. She's the one that helps Mario reach Bowser's like galaxy reactor and being able to put a stop to Bowser's big takeover of the galaxy. And then when the Lumas sacrifice themselves to cause the reset, Rosalina is there to also assist with that and also to explain to Mario what's happening, and even allowing Mario to keep the memories of what happened throughout the game. There's none of that in the movie. Again, they didn't bother to adapt anything from the Galaxy games. They just kind of did their own thing, and I have nothing against them doing their own thing. All the issues, again, just come down to the fact they called it the Galaxy movie. If they just called it something else, all these changes would probably be less annoying, because you're basically saying like, yeah, this isn't the Galaxy movie, this is its own thing. But the fact that you're calling it the Galaxy movie is going to lead people into thinking it's not its own thing. So a lot of these big issues that people have with the movie is mainly with the title. really, you change the title, and while the movie will still have all the issues it still has, it would just feel less annoying because people would be clear to know that this wasn't them attempting to tell the Galaxy story. It was just them telling their own story, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's not Galaxy's story, it's just their own story they wanted to tell. And adapting things into, like, adapting games into films, you can do your own things. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but you still need to adapt what's actually there from the games, and they just don't do that. They just don't do that at all, and that's the problem with the film as a whole. Like, I proposed to a friend who said they quite liked this idea. Again, I will make this clear right now, I'm not a professional writer, so this might sound stupid to you guys, but if they were to properly adapt the Galaxy movie, this is how I would have done it. I would have had it so that Princess Peach was captured with the castle being taken, just like in Galaxy, and Bowser Jr. did it to basically get Peach and to get Bowser back, because that's the whole reason he did it in the movie already. So in this version, he's already doing it, but he's doing killing two birds with one stone. He's getting Bowser back, and he's kidnapped Princess Peach. In this movie, they explain that both Peach and Rosalina have this basically cosmos magic ability, and while it's implied that Rosalina's is stronger, it means that, you know, Peach has that power too, and I imagine Peach has that power too, and I imagine that Peach could easily be able to be used for this reactor, this big, like, cannon thing. So they kidnap Peach, and so Bowser Jr. kidnaps Peach, gets Bowser back, so then Mario and Luigi have to then go sort out Rosalina to come help them travel to where the galaxy is, for them to finally stop Bowser Jr.'s plan of basically conquering the galaxies. It basically still follows the same plot of the current film, but it just puts more focus on a character that should have more focus. Rosalina really only got about 10 minutes of screen time, and that is, you know, I don't get why. Like, again, this is her debut on the big screen. This is the game she debuted in, and you don't use her well. That's what frustrates a lot of people, and myself a lot. You just don't do much with her, and that's really upsetting. There's all chance that she will come back for the third film, but that's not guaranteed. It's not going to be like a Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad kind of thing, where they basically considered the main four that they're always going to be in these movies in some way, shape or form. Rosalina isn't really a main character, so the only chance, maybe her only chance of being a character, a part of the main story, really got squandered here, and that's what upsets me and a lot of people. And before I end this video, I will say this right now, that there's a lot of things I've been seeing online being said by certain fans, and it's kind of annoying. So I'm just gonna say all of them right here about why some of these things are really dumb, and why are you even saying these things. So the biggest one I've seen right now is that it's a kids film. Well, the Galaxy games are also for kids, and yet it still had Rosalina's storybook, it still had all these emotional cinematic moments and all that. So it being for kids is not an excuse, and it goes for any movie. Just because it's for kids doesn't mean it deserves to be exempt from criticism or, you know, like having analysis on the movie. Hopper, for example, is a kids film, but from what I've heard, Hopper is just a good film that anyone can enjoy. That's a good film, and that's a good kids film then. This movie really only seems like it can be enjoyed by die-hard Nintendo fans and kids. Anything in between, like hardcore Galaxy fans, or just regular fans, or just people who know what a Mario is, they probably won't enjoy this movie as much. Another thing I saw is that a lot of people said that Rosalina's storybook is too vague and too short to be a whole movie. Guys, no one's asking it to be the whole movie. We were just asking for it to be there. We were just asking for them to acknowledge it and adapt it They could have added more to it, their own things to it if they wanted to, but they just ignored it completely. It's not in the movie. That's the problem. And the biggest thing I've seen is people again said that Rosalina doesn't do much in the game, so why would she have a big role here? But we just established that they didn't care about adapting the games, and even then, if they were adapting the games, again, Rosalina travels with Mario, therefore she should be in the movie more. So you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, well, they're adapting the game and she doesn't do much in the games, and then people point out what she does in the game, and then you just go, well, it's not going to be completely like the games, because then you're just, again, it's not an adaptation then, if it's not adapting what's from the games. So her being, like, again, barely in the movie, that isn't an adaptation, that was literally just them doing their own thing. The biggest thing really is just, again, a lot of these critiques that people have about Rosalina in this movie really just kind of stems from the fact that they probably just don't like the character, or just assume that, oh, well, Rosalina fans overhype this character, therefore I'm glad X, Y, and Z happened to this in the movie, which is just really bad criticism. Like, I will say this right now, Rosalina is my favorite character of all time. Is she the best character ever? Probably not. To me, she is, but she's probably not the best character in the world. Hell, she probably isn't the best character in the Mario universe. And that's fine. Again, it's all subjective, it's all people's personal opinions, but it's unfair to tell people who expected to see more of Rosalina in the movie that's named after the game she debuted in, and going like, well, she didn't do this in the game, so why would she do it here? Oh, well, she's like not really that important to the game, or X, Y, and Z thing. It's like, again, people love this character, and people just wanted to see this character shine for a bit, and the movie just didn't give that. Now, if you couldn't tell, I've been writing this without a script. I only really have notes on hand, and I didn't really go much into the movie as a whole. I mostly focused on Rosalina, because again, Rosalina is my main favorite character. So, really this is more just me to finally get my final thoughts about the movie out there, because I'm getting pretty tired of just seeing it all online and having to like talk to many different people about this. So in future reference, if people ask me, what do I think about Rosalina in the Galaxy movie, or what do I think about the Galaxy movie as a whole, I'm probably just gonna send them this like unedited video of me just talking about it. So overall, I'll say this right now, is the movie bad? Yeah, it's definitely a bad adaptation of Galaxy, and it isn't really that good of a movie either, but it's not to the point where I would say, like, it's completely a void of enjoyment. I still enjoy the movie. I would have enjoyed it more if they didn't call it the Galaxy movie, but even it being called the Galaxy movie, there was stuff in the movie I enjoyed, and I had fun watching the movie. Unfortunately, unless Rosalina is going to be a bigger part in the next movie, I probably won't be seeing any more of these movies, because again, Rosalina is my favorite character. She's usually the one that gets me to purchase a Mario game. Like, I usually will buy a Mario game eventually. Like, I will, like, again, it took me a bit to buy Super Mario Odyssey, but I did buy it eventually once I had time to get to it. But if the game has, you know, my favorite character in it, of course I'm going to buy it in a heartbeat and play it in a heartbeat. But yeah, unless the next movie has Rosalina in a more major role, so, you know, she gets basically a do-over like how Luigi did in this film, where Luigi actually got more screen time and actually got to interact with Mario more. If she gets that in the third film, I will likely check it out. If she's not like that in the third movie though, I will probably just zone out of these movies and just focus on the games. Because at the end of the day, Mario is a game character. His main things are going to be video games, and that's where all the main things I like about Mario is from. It's from the games, not these movies. So, yeah. that's pretty much it. This is my rambling thoughts about the Galaxy movie, mostly about Rosalina. I cannot speak. This is why it usually takes me 10 million years to make a video, because I'm terrible at speaking. But yeah, again, this video was mostly just talking about Rosalina and the movie, but the movie as a whole, again, it's not like super bad, but I wouldn't say it's good either. It's just kind of mediocre as a film. I really was hoping it was improving from the first, but it only really improved. It only really improved slightly. If I had to give a rating, even though I think number ratings are a bit dumb. If the first movie for me was basically a 4 out of 10, this movie's a 5 out of 10, basically. It's slightly better, but not by much. But yeah, that's my rambling thoughts about the Galaxy movie. What do you think about the Galaxy movie? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear other people's thoughts about the movie. I will make this clear right now. I think I should have made this clear at the beginning, but I'll make it clear at the end. If you love this movie, more power to you. I ain't gonna shit on you because you like this movie, or you liked how Rosalina was handled, or you like how this was done, or that was done. We all enjoy different things. We all want different things. So, if you like this movie, and you think all my criticisms, you don't agree with them, that's fine. As long as it's based on actual factual things, it's fine to disagree with me. I'm not gonna, call you out, or insult you, or anything like that, because that's stupid. End of the day, this is just a movie. It's for entertainment. People are getting entertained by it. If you're getting entertained by it, good for you. I just saw it, weren't really entertained as much. So, yeah. Again, thank you for watching this more rambly, basically, review of Galaxy and Rosalina and the Galaxy movie. I will probably not make a video like this again, unless Rosalina's in the third film, and I feel I have something more positive or more negative to say, that I want to get my thoughts out. So, yeah, back to my regularly scheduled, not uploading content about Team Fortress 2 or Overwatch. So, yeah, thanks for watching. If you got this far, I hope you all have a good day, and may the stars shine down on you. Oh god, that was fucking cringe, wherever is a video right there. Just cut the video,